What's up, everybody? It's Connor and Joshua with Chamber One Tactical. If you are a Chamber One listener, you've been watching our channel for a while, you know that this video is going to be pretty much a holy grail of videos because we have a ported CZ P10c. We've been waiting and reaching out to everybody wanting this gun to come out for years, and it finally has. So let's get into it. All right, so we're going to kind of go over the guns that we do have on the table. This is kind of years and years of collecting CZ P10Cs and P10 series. So we have the standard CZ P10C that is not optic cut, and then we have the CZ P10C that is optic cut in a beautiful FDE finish. And Joshua, tell them why we picked this thing up.
That thing was on sale for $339. And it was optic cut, and this was the one that we had for so long that wasn't optic cut, and we paid more than that for it.
Yep.
So we just had to pick it up.
Couldn't pass that one up.
And this was how many weeks ago before we got this one? Maybe like two or 3 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, yeah.
If I knew that this was coming out, I probably wouldn't have bought that. But
and we do have a Sealy optic on this one. I believe it's the Wolf. And we do have a video coming out on the newest Sealy optics, so stay tuned to that.
Yep.
Because they are some pretty cool optics. And then Joshua, if you want to go over those.
Yeah, so we have two of the CZ P10Ss, which is the 12-round magazine, so they're a little bit shorter of a slide, a little bit shorter of a grip. So we have the FDE tan, and then the black slide, and then over here we have the OD green with the black slide.
And neither one of those are optic cut. We do wish in the past that we would have bought the optic cut slides, but it's kind of hard to beat the just iron sights on a CZ other than the material. Yeah. And we'll get into that in the video.
We'll talk about that.
But just to show you guys, we have had so much time with a CZ P10C shooting it. We have thousands and thousands
between
and thousands.
All of these combined, there's no telling how many thousands of rounds we've put
so many rounds we've put through these guns. And CZ has done a fantastic job. The track record that these guns have is unlike really any other gun. It's, I know everybody loves a Glock. They're reliable and everything. I think that the CZ P10 series is right up there, if not better, to me.
And I know you guys want us to start getting into this, but the last statement we'll say, just about P10s in general, is that they are one of the most underrated handguns out there. Not too many people. They are known, but not enough people know about them.
And I have
for the price point, they're amazing.
I have a feeling that this gun is going to turn that all around.
Yes.
Because this thing is special.
Yes, absolutely. Like Connor.
So the first thing we're going to do, kicking off the video for the CZ P10C ported, is to go over the price point.
Yes.
So like Joshua said, we just picked up the optic cut FDE for $339. How much was this?
This one, so I paid a little bit more because I wanted it, like literally the day it came out, I went ahead and put in the order. So I paid $549.
$549.
The next day, Palmetto State had it on there for $499.
Yep.
And they've posted it a couple times on their daily deals as a new release, and I don't even think that's a sale. That's just them posting it as a new release. So from what we've seen so far, with it being a brand new gun, you can get it at $499.
Yep, which is crazy.
That's pretty good for a ported gun.
For a ported gun. Yep. So obviously that's one of the main differences from this gun to any other CZ P10C that you will see.
Yep.
So we're going to go over some of the key features, what kind of sets it apart, what they kept the same, and the good things and the reason why we think it's a good thing that they kept some things the same.
Yep.
And just tell you guys our overall experience and if we'd recommend it. And the main thing we're going to look at is, was it reliable? Because that's one thing with CZ that we've never had an issue on is reliability, and we definitely would not want something like a port to ruin the reliability of
Right.
a great pistol. So Joshua, if you want to kick it off with the features on the slide and everything.
Okay, so yeah, we'll talk about the slide. So they did actually change up the slide just a little bit. Obviously, there's a big old hole in there, but we'll get to that later. The slide serrations, they actually added some serrations right here on top. If you want to hold up one of those, maybe that FDE one will probably show up better. They didn't actually have anything up top, and now they do. They actually made the slide serrations right here actually deeper than they did on those. There's less of them, but they're deeper cuts, which that's perfectly fine. It doesn't matter about the quantity, it matters about the quality. And then, of course, this is optic cut, so that's good to see. There's a lot of value just in that alone.
Yep. Yeah, and one of the main things that we noticed too is that they upgraded. Now, there's still one flaw in them, but they did upgrade the sights. So what you would typically see on the standard P10c is a kind of fat rear, very blocked off. They did come through and kind of cut off some 45-degree cuts on the sides of these sights.
Yep.
So it really helps kind of funnel your eye to that front sight picture. And they also put some grooves on the back to reduce glare on the actual rear sight.
Yep.
Now, the thing that I said that they didn't improve on was they still have their glow-in-the-dark sights.
Right.
We would have loved to have seen
Tritium.
tritium-filled sights.
Yes.
It's not a huge deal. They still work, but it is still a flaw that we have seen in pretty much every CZ P10C at least, or P10 series, is these sights. A lot of times if you holster the gun, which most people are going to be doing with a gun size like this, the rear sights are going to be much more bright than the front sight because it's been in a holster, and these pretty much run off of like ambient sunlight, which is what charges them. So I do like the shape. I do like the upgrades they did to it. I just wish they would have put some tritium in there and made it just that extra.
Yeah, I agree with
bit.
Connor. I've never been a fan of these glow-in-the-dark, we'll call them sights, where they charge off the sun. Because as you said, the rear glows really good, and then the front's basically doesn't get any light, so you can't really see the front sight. And honestly, that's the most important.
Yep.
If you want to hold the FDE one up, so something else that they did, like Connor was talking about, is in the rear sight, it's basically perfectly flat, where you can use it as a shelf if you needed to rack it on a table or something, whereas that one kind of swoops up, but it is raised. I think that's what they do with the optic cut ones, is they kind of raise the sights up compared to the non-optic cut versions. But they did make a big change with the front sight, where it's actually where it can slide back and forth. And the originals, if you want to hold that one up, has a screw, right? So they are going to be different front sights than they were before. So that's just something to note as well.
And it is nice to be able to have the adjustability. Before all you had was the movement in the rear.
Yeah.
So it's nice that they saw that people wanted that.
Yep.
And I think, I think it's also, I could be wrong, but I would assume that there's more aftermarket for sights that are styled more like this than there will be that are more, specific to this gun.
Yep.
I'm sure it's a lot easier to find the dovetail cut just like that front sight.
And something that we did try out, and you'll probably see in the shooting footage, is we ended up putting a tan slide on a black frame and or FDE. I know people don't like saying tan, whatever. And then we put the FDE slide on, the compensated slide on the FDE frame. So they are interchangeable. So if you like that look, to make it kind of look like this setup right here, I think it looks good too. You can do that. So that's just something to note there.
Yeah. So, we've kind of gone over the main differences that you would see on the gun. Obviously, like Joshua said, it's ported. It's got the big old hole in the front where these don't.
Yep.
They did move that sight back some. They are identical sizes, so they didn't change. Some guns, when they move to a ported slide, sometimes they change the length of it. It is the exact same size, so your sights are going to be a little bit closer together than they would be on the standard gun. I didn't find that to be any different in shooting. But the trigger, the grip, everything about the rest of the gun, the mags, still the same. And that's kind of what
good.
That's what I was going to say. So there's certain things that you do want to change, and I think the things that they changed were all great changes, other than, like I said, the tritium filled sights. But everything that they did was a good change to the gun, and I'm glad they didn't touch the trigger, because that is the one thing that has been so consistent out of all the P10s, is the great trigger that they put in the gun. And it's awesome to be able to go pick up any of the later models and then go pick up a brand new model they've come out with, and it shoots the exact same as far as the trigger pull.
Yep.
So I love the trigger that they put in these guns, I think it's one of the, if not the best striker fired trigger that you can get, just with how crisp it is. The reset is great, quick, and tactile. So I do like everything about the trigger, and I'm glad they didn't change it.
If you're new to the P10s, like if you've never really heard of any of these or experienced any of these, you know, you're missing out on a lot of features and information on how good these guns are already.
Yep.
And then, of course, adding this port. But, I mean, one thing that they're known for, this was a direct competitor for the Glock 19. Yep. Let's just be honest, right? So some features that kind of make it better than a Glock 19, and yes, I'm saying better, is how high up you can get on these.
Yep.
So the recoil was already lower than a Glock 19 in our opinion. Some people might have different opinions, but I without a doubt will say this had less recoil than a Glock 19 without a port, because you can get so high up on it and the slide mass is really low. And then, of course, like Connor said, the trigger's great. Now it's even better having a port.
Yep.
But phenomenal. And something that I just wanted to bring up about the grip that is something that I've been experiencing lately is to pick on the Canic Prime. Is when you actually carry that gun, because the stippling is so fine, it's, you know, there's just a bunch of little stipples everywhere, is it'll actually pick on your shirt a lot.
Yep.
What I've noticed about this is it's very textured in the back strap and in the front, and the sides have some texture that, you know, help grip on, but it doesn't pick at your shirt as you're walking through where it's going to like stick to your gun. You know what I mean? It's almost like Velcro with that Canic Prime.
Oh yeah.
So I really appreciate the balance that they have of the ability to grip down on the gun, be able to have a comfortable, naturally pointing firearm, but also something that's comfortable to carry.
And I think what you said is perfect when you're talking about the differences between the ported and the non-ported. The CZ P10c is already a very flat shooting gun, low recoil, low muzzle flip. So the real comparison to me is not between the P10c and the P10c ported. It's looking at this ported gun compared to other comped and ported guns, and comparing it to other guns that are not ported and around the same size. You really notice the difference in how low recoil this gun has when you compare it to other guns, because this gun already has low recoil. So that is going to be something we do in the very, very near future, is comparing this gun to those other ported guns that we have.
And you guys will see the guns that we have on the channel. Let us know in the comments what guns you want us to see us put this against. We have the Echelon comp. We have the Prodigy comp. I don't think those are, you know, exactly the same. We have a Shadow Systems with a comp on it. We have the Canic Prime that's ported. What else do we have? We have the SIG X Macro. What else do we have? We have a lot of ported guns. I'm sure I'm missing one or two or three.
We got a few of them.
We got a few ported guns.
But just, you know, if there's a ported gun that you guys want to see a comparison to, because one thing that's going to be
the Smith & Wesson
metal carry comp.
Metal carry comp.
The one thing that's going to be going so much towards this gun is the price point, because even the Canic Prime that we just did a video on, it was like what, closer to $600.
Yeah. So
you're $100 difference already just in that. And one thing I did want to mention, because we did notice this, is there's a little cut on the back side of the actual barrel, like where the chamber is, that the other ones don't have. And I would assume that does have to do with either friction on the slide itself, or allowing a little bit of gas to escape. I don't know. If you guys do know, let us know down in the comment section why they put that little cut in the back.
Are you able to see the round in the chamber, maybe?
I don't think so. They already have loaded chamber indicators based off of their extractor, but
interesting.
But I do wonder, because I know when Glock did their ported series years ago, when they did their ported, they would take a little relief cut right there to have less friction, just so that they made sure the gun was still reliable. So I wonder if that's something that CZ did as well, trying to make sure to, you know, ensure the reliability of the gun with the lower pressure. But let us know if you guys know exactly what that is down in the comment section. But the main thing, reliability and performance.
Yes.
Was this gun reliable?
Absolutely, 100%.
100% reliable. We did not have a single malfunction.
Didn't expect one.
We shot a lot. Yeah, I mean, we weren't really expecting to, but there's always that chance.
Yeah.
But no, with multiple different types of ammo, because we were kind of digging in the buckets there at the end. Multiple different kinds of ammo, no issues whatsoever. We did have a couple times where when we would finish off a mag, it didn't lock back, but that was just where we were holding our thumb.
Yeah.
And it's always happened to us on the P10Cs.
And other guns,
and
too.
really on any gun.
It's our grip.
Yeah.
Because when we changed it up, it locked back every time.
Right.
So,
and that was another thing Joshua wanted to make sure it wasn't just us. He did do it one-handed to like kind of limp wrist the gun, and it locked back fine. So we made sure we tested that for you guys just to make sure that it was reliably locking back.
Yep.
But the performance of this gun is what stood out so much to me, because it almost turned this gun into the feeling of a 22. Yes, you still feel a little bit in your hand, just the gun moving back because it's keeping that muzzle down. The force has to go somewhere.
Yeah.
So there's still movement, but there's so little muzzle flip that you're able to stay on target. And that's actually something that me and Joshua tested a little bit, because we shoot these P10Ss so fast. Not trying to brag on us, but it's just
for us.
Yeah, for us. We can shoot these guns really, really fast. And so what Joshua did is just back to back, he took this P10S and shot it as fast as he could, see how many hits he got, and then did the same thing. And I'm pretty sure you hit almost every single time.
Yeah, it was kind of like a mag dump, where we were kind of aiming at a target, but we weren't caring about hits. We were just pulling the trigger as fast as we could. And we did get some hits with this one, but we got way more hits with the P10C.
So, I mean,
ported, not comp. Ported.
Right.
My bad.
It definitely helps the performance of the gun a ton.
For sure.
So I was very impressed. Obviously, you guys know if it's a CZ P10C, we're already going to have a little bit of bias, but I can honestly tell you that this gun performed a lot better than I was expecting it to. I already had high hopes for it, but it, again, CZ came and exceeded my expectations of how this gun was going to do. So I'm very impressed, and I was very happy to see that. I guess the reason that they haven't released this gun as soon as they have is making sure that they didn't lose that CZ reliability, the well-built machine that they build, just to have a port on there. So at this point,
well, and just to talk about too the things that come with the gun. So it does come with some different back straps, obviously in a little baggie. It comes with 2 of these extended base plates. So we did go ahead and swap one out, and that's what the original base plate would look like. Comes with 2 15-round magazines.
Yep.
And then the base plates aren't put on them yet, so you have to put the extended one on there. We only utilized one of the extended base plates, which adds another 3 rounds to it, if I'm not mistaken.
Or 2 or 3. I can't remember.
It's more than 2. I think it's 3.
Okay.
Anyways, I don't know. We just load it. We don't count.
But you got to give it to CZ. They came out with a nice looking box.
Yeah, they changed their boxes up a little bit compared to the other.
Yeah, they actually did a good job.
that they've had.
The box. I used to work at a gun store, and the funniest thing on a CZ box was trying to see somebody open it, especially some of the workers, because you would unlatch the latches, and on CZs you used to have to push in on the box to like give a little relief, and it would pop open. And that was one thing that was funny. Even with some of my coworkers, they couldn't figure out how to open up a CZ box, which was hilarious. And maybe if you can't open up the box, you probably shouldn't be buying the gun. But I don't know. But I do like the upgrade that they did on the box. I do think they needed a change there.
I couldn't care less about a box, to be honest with you. If it came in a Walmart bag and it was still a great gun, I'd be fine with that too.
Yeah. So I mean, at the end of the day, Joshua, I know we already have the original guns.
Yep.
And we're not getting rid of them. Well, you may get rid of this one.
Yeah, because those are pretty much the same thing, just better.
But at this point, would you recommend this gun? And is there anything you would tell our viewers to push them in the right direction on this thing?
Yeah, so 100%, I'm going to go ahead and say any P10 that you want, go ahead and get. They're amazing.
Yep.
I mean, the price point for what they are is phenomenal. If you don't want to spend all the way that $499, and you wanted to do something more like $339, these are great options too. So I don't want to knock these and say that they're not relevant anymore. You're still saving money with these other options, and they're phenomenal. We carry these quite often too, the little short ones.
That is my carry gun still.
But for the price point that it's at, still coming in under what a Glock is, it's coming in with a port. It's got optic cut, one of the best striker-fired triggers out there, great stippling, comfortable grip, 15-round magazine, which is the perfect magazine size.
Wish it was
honestly.
17, but
yeah,
they got to figure that out, because there's smaller guns that can get 17. CZ needs to look into that.
Yeah.
But
with all you're getting, yes, it's 100% worth it. It's one of the best guns, if not the best carry gun you can get today. And one more thing before I let you say what you're going to say, is something about the P10s I would highly recommend for someone to have as one of their first guns.
Yep.
Because it is so easy to teach. We've taught a few people, you know, that have never shot a gun before. One of the go-to guns that we utilize is a CZ P10. The reason for that is because of the weight of the trigger, we think it's perfect. It's not too light to where it's going to, you know, be an issue, and it's not too heavy, but it's very crisp, and the reset is so tactile, it's loud, and it's very forceful. It's a very hard click, and it's easy to teach somebody about where the wall is, where the break is, and where the reset is.
Absolutely.
So and the sights are very easy to use. They're very tight, which I like. You can be very accurate with them. Though I would prefer tritium, I like the whole design and the shape of the sight. So they're great first guns for people as well.
I agree 100%. Like he's talking about, when you have someone that's never shot a gun before, they're just wanting to slap the trigger every time. It's every single person that I've ever tried to show how to shoot a gun, they just want to jerk the trigger as fast as they can because they're scared of the shot. So these guns are almost perfect to show a new shooter because they have such light take up that they're not having to worry about. They know there's a good enough amount of resistance that they know, and once you get to that wall, it's a dead stop.
Yep.
So it's very easy for someone to remember in their brain, once they feel that trigger stop, that all it is a pull away. And then the reset is, again, perfect. You can listen. Clicks, perfect. Pushes your finger out, loud click. You can feel it, and then you're right back into the shot. So just a great gun for a starter, a great gun for someone who's owned all of them. This is still a gun you should go pick up, in my opinion.
And if you notice, what we have is a Nightcore flashlight. We're testing that out right now. So there will probably be future videos on Nightcore products. But that's probably a perfect bedside gun as well. And that's actually what I'm going to utilize it for. That's why I have the light on there.
Yeah, I mean, I think this gun is going to hold its own against any other ported or comped polymer frame gun out there. What I'm excited to see, because me and Josh will have a little bit of a favorite, when the Springfield Echelon came out, and then they came out with a comped or ported version.
Yes.
We really fell in love with that gun. So I'm really excited to do a video of comparing the Echelon versus the CZ P10c, because those are two of some of the better guns that we've had. So I'm kind of excited to see how they compare to each other. Yeah. But if there, like I said, if there's any other guns that you guys would like us to see compared to this gun, just let us know in the comments section. You know, like we said, look forward to the videos that we have coming out on some of our optics and some of our accessories for the guns. And make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe, and we'll catch you next time.